Hello, can you hear me? But can anyone hear me? I'm wondering if my microphone is working.
Yes, we can hear you. Getty, can you please hear me? Okay, Gertrude, you have to unlock yourself. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you on my end.
Okay, how about Gertrude? Okay. In this broadcast, we're going to discuss an overview of the AWS All Builders Welcome Grant Program. Okay, so I will let my guests introduce themselves. Well, I will be the first to do that. So, my name is Samuel Owusu. I'm a cloud solutions architect. I work with a German rural bank. Basically, does that. So, I will throw it up to Isandor to begin, and Najwa, and then Gertrude will continue.
Hello, I was wondering, can you hear me, Kenny?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, I'm an AWS enthusiast as well as a stock analyst. That's what I do currently. And I was a grant recipient in 2022. And it was a great experience. I'm looking forward to sharing some of the wonderful experiences that.
Okay. And Anajwa, can you continue for us?
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So my name is Anaja. I'm a cloud advocate and a product manager. I'm also an AWS learner advocate and a two-time recipient for the AWS grants program. Yeah, nice to be here.
All right. Thank you so much. Gertrude.
Hello, my name is Gertrude. I currently work with Paystack as a solutions engineer. Um, I have a bit, not a bit, but I have a background in cloud engineering. I have received the ABW grant once. Hopefully, I get to go back as a mentor. And yeah, I'm an advocate for cloud as well.
All right. Thank you so much for making time to be on this live broadcast. Uh, Nana, can you give us an overview of the ABW program?
Okay, when it's an overview about the whole program, the application process, or just an
Yeah,
overview? All right,
just an
so
overview what it entails.
right, so the ABW grant program is AWS's program to help people in the tech system, in the tech field, who have 2 to 5 years of experience. Is their way of helping new builders in the field. It's called the All Builders Grant. Just as the name suggests, it's meant as people with from underrepresented groups. You get to enjoy free flight accommodations, free event in Las Vegas. You get to actually meet keynote speakers. You get free access to the keynote speeches as well. Aside that, you have access to mentors who help you in your tech field. I personally have benefited a lot from the AWS grant. I met people that were my mentors and are still my mentors, and who have helped me in my cloud journey. And I think some Owusu, in my time, you were a mentor. So yeah, good to see you again. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much about the overview of ABW program. Well, I want to ask Gertrude, how did you get to know of the grant program?
Okay, so during my transition into the like cloud space, I went through the ASB Africa Restart program, and the Restart program is actually one of the AWS programs they have across the globe, where they try to give people the opportunity to get into tech. So people from non-conventional tech backgrounds get the opportunity to start a tech career from scratch in the cloud space. And so that was how I got into tech. And through this program, I got to interact with people from AWS, so employees of AWS, who kept talking about how there were so many opportunities where you get sponsorship to travel and to attend the AWS reInvent and get to meet like amazing people. And so through that, I got to learn about the grant. And
Okay.
yeah, so that was how I heard about the grant and how I applied for it and got it. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Echo, can you please share your experience with this?
Yes, but honestly, I don't recall the very first place I got to hear about the grant. But what I can
Okay.
say is that starting January 2021, I have been devoting a lot of time towards studying about AWS, following everything that is happening within the AWS community. So
Okay.
I may probably have heard about it through the emerging talents community of
Okay.
AWS, which I belong to, or as an AWS community builder,
Okay.
or the official YouTube channel. Oh, I was keeping pace with all of these, so I'm sure I got the information from all of these, as well as following personalities like Jeff Barr, who is AWS chief evangelist on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's how I got to know about the grants.
All right. Now let me put you on the spot. For me, I applied the first time, I didn't get. Upon the second attempt, that was when I was able to get. So how many times did you all try? Yes,
Uh,
Nanaja.
okay, That was my first time. Actually, that was
Your
my
first
first.
time?
Was on the
Wow, then
first.
you really nailed it. That's all. Okay, how about I get you?
So this was actually my second time. My first try was in, I think, 2021, and then I didn't apply in 2022, and then I applied in 2023. So yeah,
Okay,
my
so
second time
just
as
like
well.
me. All right. How about Echo?
I think I got it on my very first attempt in 2022.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Then you people, you are genius for you to get it at your first try. Okay. How was your experience like at reInvent? Let me begin with Echo.
Yes, I was looking at my uh, list of things that I did because every day I would write out what I plan to do. There were so many
Okay.
sessions, and part of the things I did included attending the grant events. There were events that were made or sessions that were held specifically for grant recipients,
Okay.
and I attended each one of these. Then there was also the arrangement for us to have a boot camp.
All
So on
right.
the very first day, I attended the boot camp, which was the on AWS. So I devoted almost the entirety of the first day on this boot camp. And I
Okay.
also tried to attend all of the keynote sessions
All
in
right.
which I was privileged to meet some of the people I used to watch online, like the vice presidents of AWS and all of
Okay.
that. Then,
Look, looks like you are a fan of Deva.
that's true. And then there
Okay.
were peer talk sessions where you could actually pre-arrange a meeting with an AWS expert. So almost every day I had one of those sessions as well, where I also received mentoring from various experts. Then I can't forget to mention the parties. Almost every night
Sure. Sure.
I scheduled
Sure.
a party to have a good time, also networking and making friends and all of that.
Okay. Let me go to Nanajua. Can you share your experience at reInvent?
All right. Yes, I would say first time events for me was very exhausting. I think that was my
Mm,
first time meeting about over 60,000 people in one space.
yeah.
That was more of like the first time I'm being to such a very huge conference. Usually conferences you go to are in one space. You don't
Yeah.
have venues running here and there. So I really underestimated how I was going to walk and how I was going to move
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
I'll say
Okay.
I missed some sessions because I didn't I the first time I didn't know how to plan. I had sessions back to back, so obviously had to miss some part. But generally, I love the networking parts. I think I love the networking part more because of the people I met and what I learned from them as well. And the best part was the expo. You know, you get souvenirs from various
Yeah.
companies around and all that. But
Yeah.
generally, and also the All Builders program. I was involved in every single All Builders program that happened at reInvent for the first time because that's what actually solidified and motivated me to do more in the tech space. So generally, good experience. Just exhausting. Yeah, a lot of
Uh,
walking. Yeah.
it's true. You work a lot. You work a lot. Okay, Getty, can you share with us your experience at reInvent?
So for me, I feel it was a bit overwhelming. Just like
Mhm.
Nana John mentioned, the number of people you would meet there is not something you prepare your mind, like you prepare yourself for. And
Sure.
so the sheer number of like activities happening concurrently, the number of people you have at the event is a bit overwhelming. But the opportunity to network is like great, and that was what I
Yeah,
really
massive.
appreciated. Yes. Um, just like Nanaja also mentioned, you need to plan properly because for me, at least, I met people who I already knew prior to reinvent, and so they already gave me heads up as to what to expect, right? Because you have
Okay.
a session in one venue, and the next venue is like 30 minutes away. You have to catch the bus, and you will definitely miss sessions.
Sure.
So I think what I took, the information I got, what's like it helped me prepare for is like take things at my own pace, um, prioritize what is most important for me, which was mostly networking, attend all the events that are like designed for the grant recipients, and the rest you just go with the flow, which like helped me not get too exhausted, but also I had like the best time of my life at the events. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Now let's delve straight into the agenda for the day. Our live stream viewers are online, and I would want to ask, starting from Gertrude, why should someone apply for the ABW grant program?
So the good thing about the grant is the fact that it gives everyone an equal opportunity to have an experience of a lifetime. And there are so many people who would love to attend but cannot afford. And so this would give you an opportunity to attend at no cost because your flights are catered for, your accommodation is catered for. There's so much food, you cannot even eat like half of it. Yeah. So
Sure.
I believe that it will give you an opportunity to network, meet like really amazing people who are doing amazing things across the globe. It would also give you the opportunity to learn new things because you would get to meet different companies at the expo where you get to create relationship with these companies, and who knows, probably that's where your next employment is coming from. So why you should apply is because you get to travel, you get to network, you get to meet new people, you get to have an opportunity of a lifetime at no cost. All you have to do is put in an application, and you, just like everyone else, get an equal opportunity. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Echo, can you add something little to what Getty said?
Sure. I could talk about at least three things.
Okay.
One is the opportunity to learn, to be immersed in whatever field you want to learn about, because we don't always get the opportunity to have a full week to do a deep dive into a particular area in which we are interested.
Okay.
So that's one. Then the opportunity to do a lot of networking. It's also
Sure.
one which plants seeds for opportunities. I was just looking at my LinkedIn yesterday and I realized I had some 7,000 followers. I'm sure a lot of it,
Wow. Came
the
from.
foundation of it was laid by my journey to reinvent and the people I met, and the pictures
Okay.
I shared, and all of that.
Okay.
And of course, even the exposure. Personally, that was the first time I traveled outside Ghana. Yes.
Okay.
Throughout my life, I'd only lived in two regions, spent time in two
Uh-huh.
regions in Ghana. But all of a sudden, thanks to this grant, I had the opportunity to go to the US and learn and network as well. So it's great. It's a great opportunity if one can take advantage of it.
Okay. Nanaja, your final touch on this.
All right. So thank you. Can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Yes. Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear you.
So I would say that the reason why you should apply is helping you to put yourself out there, right? There's no harm in trying. There's no harm in building. One thing that personally worked for me was I'm going to reinvent actually made me meet people that made me feel like I'm not alone in the cloud journey. You meet people that have built things from the scratch, are still trying to navigate their way through and all that. So, being able to put yourself out there whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, it's a sign of growth, right? You might not get it the first time, you might get it the first time. That's all part of the growth. But once you are able to get in and put in an application, put in your best in the application, you'll be able to gain more, build yourself confidence, add it to your portfolio. Because being granted a grant to reinvent is actually not is an achievement, honestly.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
like funded by AWS, you being recognized as a builder, it adds some sort of credentials or credibility to you. So there's a reason why you should apply. Put
Okay.
yourself.
All right. Yeah, for me, I think that you have nothing to lose. You don't pay to apply for it. So why not give it a try and then see what comes out of it? If you are fortunate enough, every benefit that is associated with the program you enjoy. If you are not, you give it another try. Like we all mentioned, I did it on the second try and I was able to get it. Okay. So now we get into the application questions. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Is it visible enough for you to see?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. How about Echo?
Yes, I can also see.
Okay. All right. So you just go to Google, you type AWS, all builders welcome. It's going to take you to their original website, which is this one. I don't know. Okay. Can you see this one?
Yep.
Okay. So you come to the main application questions. The first one is about your information, applicant information. So we're just going to put random data so that we can be able to skip ahead and then see the actual essay question. So I'm just going to fill up random data here. City, any city at all. Country, you just have to choose your country. They will fly you over. Wherever you are, they are going to fly you over. Now, if you are not employed, maybe you are students, you remember there were a lot of students at reInvent. So you would think that they are not working. But then if you're a student, you can just put your university name or your school name over there. Okay. And then the job title, you can just put you're a student or something like that. Okay. Then we move to the next. Okay. So will you be at least 21 years on December? Sure. If you are not up to 21 years, you don't qualify. So you put yes. Have you worked professionally in a cloud technology related for 5 years or less? Yes, 5 years or have you attended reInvent as ABW grant? Now this question is kind of tricky. If you have, it means that you don't qualify again do to attend or to apply again. So definitely this answer will be no. Okay. Are you an employee, intern? This one is talking about Amazon affiliates and all that. So this one is no. Are you an entity that is owned, funded, managed by the government? No. In this side, you choose which one applies to you. Whether you are a lady, a woman, you are black, any of them, whichever applies to you, you choose that one. Okay. So if you choose not none of the above, there are subsequent questions you are supposed to answer. So we didn't choose that one. And then you have to explain why you are choosing none of the above and all that. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, let me start with a call. He said, please list your cloud technology related education, training, or coursework history, both formal and informal. What is your understanding about this particular question?
Well, so it
Oh,
mentions formal as well as informal. So
okay,
I am an AWS educate advocate. So I will mention, for example, if you have completed some AWS educate courses and maybe earn some badges,
okay,
that
so
could
certification,
fix it.
badges. Okay. These options, there are five of them. It doesn't mean you should populate all of them. If you have certification, if you have badges, if you have any other training, or that you just put it there. But it's not mandatory for you to fill up all the six entries. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Please list your cloud technology related work or intern experience. Nanaja, can you please take this one for us?
Yes, thank you, Samuel. So, with your cloud technology work experience, if
Mhm.
I, for me personally, it's just a mixture of your personal projects and projects you've done in your workspace, right? As a new person in the cloud field, you may not have had direct contact. You might not have direct contact with working directly in the cloud on your work on your work, right? So every
Mhm.
single project that you've done, whether it's an internship program, just make sure to indicate it. Maybe personal project,
Okay,
internship, personal development. That's what I did because even though I'd
okay,
worked in the cloud, I also had like personal projects that I added. Yeah, thank you.
okay. So, okay. Now the next one, it says, tell us about your cloud technology related personal and or professional activities and accomplishment. This includes certification, awards, clubs, and all that. Getty, please take this one for us.
Okay, so with regards to that question, they want to know what you've done with respect to the cloud space. So be it awards, be it certifications that you've taken. So if it's a cloud practitioner, if it's a solutions architect, whichever certifications you have, that relate to not just cloud but tech related, right? And so it could be certifications in Python. It's they just want to know or be able to understand your um, activities or your learning progression in the tech space. And so, no matter what type of certification it may be, if it's security, if it's programming, once there are certifications that you earned, I think you should add them there so that at least it helps to verify that you are someone who is either learning or someone who is active in that tech space.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, we are now on the essay types of question. Here it requires 500 words at least. Limit your. What are your cloud technology related career plans and professional goals? What are you hoping to gain or learn from attending Reinvent? Okay. Anyone to attempt this one for us?
I can take it.
Okay.
So I mean, everyone who is not everyone, but it's ideal that no matter what career path you are on, you have a plan. You have either a short, medium, or long term plan regards to career progression. So
Okay.
this question basically wants to know what plans do you have, right? Maybe you just as you are a day or a week old in the cloud space. What do you seek to achieve by being in the cloud space? What are your plans? What plans are you putting in place to ensure that you meet the targets that you want to get to. So if in the next 2 to 3 years you want to be a solutions architect, what are you doing to achieve that? And how would you attending reinvent help you achieve this basically? So you can say maybe you are trying to become a solutions architect. You can talk about the fact that you are currently learning to become a solutions architect, and these are the courses you are currently learning, or these are the things you are doing to be able to write the certification. And
Mm-hmm.
you attending reInvent would help you meet other people also on that trajectory, right? And you would be able to network, meet people, learn from people, and you believe this would influence your career. So yeah, basically what you hope to achieve, how
Okay.
attending reInvent would help you achieve that career goal.
Okay. Thank you, Gertrude. Any other additions to this? Echo.
Yes, I think she's basically covered the ground. We want to list what we really want to achieve. Of course, we want to attend reinvent, have a good time. But if you just write that there, that will not be a good response. But we want to show them clearly that whatever they are going to invest in us is going to bring something positive. It's going to help us advance our career. And then we'll also be proud of having invested resources into us.
Okay. How about Nanajwa? Anything to add on this?
Yes. So just
Okay.
to add, I think to make your application also strong, also look out to add something that you might just get from reInvent specifically, right?
Okay.
Labs, workshops, you can get them sometimes, right? You get access to keynote speeches. They are all available. I'm not saying don't add it, but you should also look out for something specific that like mentorship, because ABW grant is also about um, helping people with their career, networking, finding people in the tech field to help you. So try to make your application to stand out. Let me dare to say that these are just my comments. I'm not part of the
Sure.
reviewing team, but that's what I think would also help your application to stand out. Something specific that you're looking out to get that it might be really hard to get outside of reinvent. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I would also want to add something to it. Uh, this particular question talks about your passion for tech, where you are now, okay, where you want to be, and then how reinvent would help you achieve those kind of goals. Okay. So basically where you are now, what you plan to achieve, and then how reinvent will bridge that particular gap. All right. Let's get to the next question. What is your experience using AWS products and services and or technical experience? If you are new to tech, please describe your tech related aspirations and plans over the next 6 months. Okay, Echo, can you please take this one for us?
Sure. So it seems to have two legs. One is if you
Yes.
have a lot of experience, then you can focus on describing your technical experience. Then, if you are new, then you could rather focus on discussing your plan. So, if I should take the second part first, suppose, for example, I have attained a cloud practitioner and I'm working towards acquiring the AWS Solutions Architect Associate, and then perhaps even the professional within the next 6 to 12 months, then I could mention that. And then if there are also some personal projects that I'm working on, I can also mention that in addition to studying for the certification, these are the projects that I'm working on. If I could even share a link to it,
Okay, that should be
that would
fine.
be important. And those who have a lot of technical experience actually working with the cloud can also describe that experience there as well.
Okay, hold on. You said you were sharing a link, right?
No, I was just saying that if you could share a link in answering that question, one
Mhm.
possibility is to share a link. If it's to GitHub or wherever we have
Oh,
that
okay.
project, we could also
I,
do
I,
that.
I get your point. Okay. And then if you said if you are a newbie, what do you do?
Yes, you may have certification goals, maybe the associate or professional level certifications. So you can describe that, mention the goal and what you are doing to reach that goal.
Okay. Getty, can you add something to this?
So as Echo mentioned, so there are actually two parts to it. So those with experience and those who are just beginning. There are people who are just beginning but have tried their hands on projects, have tried their hands on creating like personal projects on AWS. I feel these are things you should mention as well. No matter how small you might feel the experiences, mention it, right? If you set up an S3 bucket and tried hosting a static website, mention it. This is something that you've done. And in as much as you haven't really done this in like production, you have tried it out and you've made it work. So no matter how little your experience is, you should still go ahead and mention it. So those who have like tons of experience, as those who actually are working in cloud-based roles, talk about
Mhm.
what you do at work on a day-to-day basis. Um, the projects you've done that it doesn't go against company policy to talk about. And yeah, I think that should give you a good shot.
Okay. Nanadra, can you please add something to this?
All right. So I'll touch more on if you're new to tech, or yeah, if you're new to tech, just be sure to put out your aspirations, right? What you let it be a defined plan. You just can't say, I want to learn more about the cloud. What specifically do you want to learn about the cloud? What do you want to be? What role are you targeting? And if you are also, you already have the tech experience, one thing I would say is sometimes you've worked on a lot of things that you would want to write or you probably forget some, but try to put your expertise in a way that's quite easy to understand, right? Not so many of the technical jargons, I'll say. Maybe I don't know who is
Mhm.
reviewing, but just so it's
Okay.
understandable. Not I've used this, and bringing all the jackings and everything inside, just going to try to using, but just try as much as possible to put out your experience in a very concise and straight manner, to get people understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Then the next question, what personal or professional achievement are you most proud of? Okay, Getty, can you start with us?
So I would say at this point, they're basically trying to find out what you've done that you feel is an achievement. So
Okay.
people who have taken certifications, I mean, that is an achievement that I would want to speak about. Um, if you've built a project that is being used, that is something you should talk about. When it comes to like personal stuff, so certifications can be both personal and professional.
Yeah.
Projects that people are using are mostly, let's talk about them as like professional. But outside of that, maybe you are doing some work in the tech community that you want to share, or there are things that you are helping people in the tech community achieve their goals. You are helping people who are trying to start out in cloud, trying to help them figure out what courses to take, what certifications will be right for them. Those are things that you are doing in the tech community that you should definitely talk about. So it shouldn't just be limited to things that you are directly related to AWS, but things that
Okay.
when you think about and you see that you've achieved them, like it makes you smile. So yeah.
Okay. Nanaja, please help us with this.
All right, I'll say this is one of my favorite questions. This was one of my
Sure.
favorite questions personally, because this actually gives you the opportunity to tell a story, right?
Okay.
You get the opportunity to. This is where I'll say you get to really put yourself out there, because the rest are very specific. What are your experiences? What are your this? But this gives you the platform to actually express yourself. So if you're a newbie in tech, let me take it from that point.
Okay.
What the professional accomplishments? Maybe what have you been able to do, and how has that actually made you so proud? If you are new in tech and you're able to deploy a website, I think you should be happy about it, right? On the cloud.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If you've been able to help somebody transition into tech, I think you should be happy about that. It's an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from, so that's that with that actually puts you in like an all builders, like it makes you really like a builder. That's where you get to tell a story. I'll just use myself an example. I think this
Okay.
part I used me coming from a non-technical field, getting into tech. I mean, it's like a proud moment for everybody. And if you already have like the technical expertise, leverage on some of the things that you've done that you feel like you've actually like made it, just outside deployments, outside everything. What have you been able to do? Maybe help somebody get into tech, help somebody with a certification, crash maybe all 12 certifications in 1 year. Look out for things that makes you tell a story about yourself, that actually makes you um
So
very
proud about it.
exactly, that somebody's reading, somebody's like, oh wow, I think you've done really good. Yep, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Echo, can you please add something?
Well, I think if you've also made some progress in your cloud learning journeys,
Okay.
you could also mention that. For example, at the time I applied, I was an AWS community builder. So I mentioned that I was a member of the AWS Emerging Talents community. These are things that I felt proud of, and that also showed that I was making some progress in learning about AWS. So these are also things that we can include if we have been able to accomplish them.
Okay. Uh, Getia, have you? Okay, you were the first one to talk about this. Now, just as Nanadra mentioned, this is the point where you get to sell yourself. I remember this one. Someone had given me a project. As in, she just told me that she has a pharmacy shop. Okay, she has two pharmacy shops. The software she uses, she has to go run the pharmacy shops to get whatever. It was kind of isolated on its own. Okay, and then she said she wanted to get the two pharmacy shops working together. As in, she could sit at her office or home and then see whatever is going on. The second thing was that she needed uh, a software that could do manage the pharmacy shop, their stock and all that, and then do the accounting aspect of it. Okay, the taxes, the I don't know the accounting terms, whatever. Okay, so she told me, I said, well, I can do it, but then I don't know accounting. For that one that I told her I don't know accounting. So what I did was that I searched online and then saw a software. I reviewed it, got in touch with the company, and then we bought the software. Now it was left for us to make the thing operationalize. That was when I had to learn, and then because I was also quite new with AWS, how to put things together, but it gave me a really, really tough time learning new thing and then deploying. But in the end, I was able to deploy the thing for her to use on AWS flawlessly. So it gave me some sort of so much experience. That was what I used to answer this particular question. So it comes from your story, how what you have been able to achieve. Then you put it out there. It's gonna sell you so much. So Nanadwa mentioned that it's an opportunity to just sell yourself to them. When they see that, they are able to do it. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay, let's move on. Oh, okay. We've come to the end of the questions. Certainly, we are not going to submit. Let me go back. Okay, so all right. Now, I must say that when you are applying for this application, you should be passionate about whatever you are doing. You see, the the thing is that if you are not passionate about it, if you don't put so much emotions into it, you realize that they realize that you just want the benefit, only the benefit, without having to learn or make use of the major important things which are also important to them. Okay, so you need to put in so much passion about it, so much energy, so much emotions, such that you could make it. I want to ask my guest, is it advisable to use ChatGTP? Get it? Can you do that for me?
I won't advise you use ChatGPT. I feel it's fine if you use tools like Grammarly, Quill, but for just to correct your grammar, but do not generate your write up with ChatGPT because it can be tracked, right? And
Yeah.
you want to tell a story. You want people to know that this is who you are and this is what you're doing and this is why you want to attend reinvent. The thing is, there are so many people who are going to apply across the
Mm-hmm.
globe. You
Yeah.
have to stand out. That is the only way you'll be selected. And so I would advise you not to use ChatGPT, but you can use tools that basically correct your grammar, help you identify spelling mistakes. But using ChatGPT to generate your write up, no, I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay. Echo, what's your stand on that?
Yes, I'm also not in favor. I haven't read any who saying that you shouldn't use it. But again, with the understanding that diversity and inclusion is
Okay.
a key reason why this program has been made. I think the more unique you can be, the better. But rather
Okay.
copying something that has been generated by the AI may not make you stand out or make you unique or contribute to the diversity that they want. So it's better to
Okay.
express yourself based on your own experience.
All right. Nanajua, how about you?
All right. So I'll say that um, there are many other ways you can use AI, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, not to generate answers for your application. What I would advise you can do if you want to, maybe you are stuck with ideas, you know what you've already done. You have to, you put a prompt in. It's just about prompting you. Don't copy and paste. You can give maybe sometimes let me give an instance, right? That I did this, I worked on this, but sometimes trying to put the sentences together is quite some way, right? So you could give an idea of what you've done, see what ChatGPT says, just put it out, and then you can learn from that. Don't copy that and paste it, but try to learn on how it's composed. Do you get it? Sometimes you have a bits and pieces of information everywhere. Try to put them together,
Okay.
see how it's composed, and then from there you can derive a story. You can actually say, okay, I think maybe this one would rather make sense, not copying exactly. So use it the smart way to get your ideas organized, and then put it in
Okay.
your own words and in your own writing. That's what I'd say. Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know where stand, but just use very wisely. Not because once you
Okay.
copy it,
So
can be trapped.
okay, so you are in favor of, okay, we can use it, but minimally, right?
No, no, not even minimally, just in a very smart way, just for organizing your thoughts, right? That's what I
Mm-hmm.
because I'll say that last year,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people that when it comes to applications, during my time, I don't think we didn't even have it. In 2022, it wasn't fully launched yet. So, but you would have people that it just comes to helping you organize your thoughts. And it's not just ChatGPT. We have other AI tools that can help you just organize your thoughts and put them together. Once you
Okay.
have that, you don't copy that. Now you know however it's written. You can write that, write a composed story from there. So yeah.
Okay. One thing I would want to add is that, you see, this one is not the recruitment system or the ATS kind of thing. They are read by people. There are people behind the application process. They read every bit. I'm sure it's one of the reasons why they've reduced the application time, because it used to be from July to September, but now it's like 2nd of August. So they know that people are applying, they will need more time to review. So they are cutting down the application time and then having to take more time to review all the application process. So if it's ChatGPT, certainly they will know. I don't know whether AI has emotions for it to put emotions and passions into writings. Anyway, I can't tell, but then there are people behind it who are going to review. So you should also be mindful of the fact that they will know it is if it's ChatGPT generated. Okay. Anything you want to add? Not
Um,
Echo.
I'll,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say to everybody that wants to apply, to give it a shot. In fact, I would encourage everybody to apply. I know that's going to give AWS a lot of work to review
Mm-hmm.
applications, but apply. Like someone said, you don't pay money for applying. You
Yeah.
don't lose money. If you're not selected, nothing happens to you. You don't lose your job. I mean, it's
So
just and sometimes once you do these things, it just makes you comfortable. Trust me, I've had a lot of applications
yeah.
that I've received bounce. Sorry to inform you, but it just keeps making it better, right? So just put yourself out there. All the best to everybody applying. And if you're selected, I hope you have fun. And remember, whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. That's
You actually visited that place, right?
You say again?
I'm
Yes, I
saying you
did.
actually visited. Is it
Yes.
on a desert? On a desert, right? That kind of thing. I think I saw something like that.
I know. So
Oh,
there's another point that has it. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So
No.
yeah. Mm.
All right. Nana, did you take time to go for replay? Getty? Oh, okay. Nana, how about you?
Yes, I went for the first time I went, but the second time I went for event, I didn't go because I had experienced one, and I think the
Okay.
second was really exhausting. The weather was cold, so
Yeah.
I decided to stay back. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun, very fun.
Okay. How about Echo? Did you go for replay?
Sure. They, they say you should work hard and play hard. So it was a fun way to end the whole event. I had a nice.
Okay. All right. Now the second thing I would want to ask is visa issues. How would someone applying now circumvent one major headache is their visa issues. I know Echo. Can you share your experience with me? You had a very tight time with visa and all that.
Well, I'm not sure I'm a good example. So maybe others should rather learn not to do what I did
Okay,
because
okay,
I
okay,
had to, in 1 month or two, quickly get a passport and get a visa. I didn't even have a passport at the time. So I think for
okay,
those who are applying now, if they don't have passports, it's good they start working on that now.
okay,
And same with visa. It's good to start the application early, the earlier the
okay,
better.
okay, okay. Okay, so there is a question here saying, are you offering administrative support for first-time applicants? Can anyone take this question? Would anyone want to support?
So I would say that we in this call we've given the best of tips that we we can do. We've gone through all the questions. So what you can do is maybe I don't know if this will still be available on your channel somehow, but
Yeah,
you can do that, and maybe you could reach out maybe on LinkedIn, connect with us. But to say for me personally, I don't know for the others. Specific administrative support, maybe no, I could just help with any questions you might have because let's bear in mind that we are not the ones going to review the applications. These are from past experiences, and things might change when it comes to how applications are going to be reviewed. So we wouldn't want to be specific about offering administrative help and then things change and we don't know what to do. So that's what I'll say.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go to the next one. It's saying that good evening, this program sure is on our YouTube channel. So you will find it every time you wish you can be able to find it. All right. Any other question? There is no more question. Your final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Getty.
So what I would say is give it a shot. There's nothing to
Okay.
lose. The worst that could happen is you get rejected and then you apply again. Because
Yeah.
there's not everybody who would get it on the first try. If you get on the first try, kudos to you. But if not, don't give up because as the saying goes, nothing good comes easy. So
Yeah.
keep pushing. All I would say is make sure to like go through the video, go through the questions, take your time. So I actually wrote medium articles on like
Yeah, I read that. I read that.
yeah.
It was a very, very good information on that. I read that.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
on regards to what you should look out for or things you shouldn't do to ensure that your application gets selected. I've never been a member of the review committee, but there are things that I did in the first application that I learned from and then did better in the second application, which I feel helped me get accepted as in my second application. And so you
Okay.
can look for me on Medium, the same name, Gertrude Abagali. and you can read that as well. So basically, it's telling you about the fact that you need to start ahead of time. The application opened, I think, last week, and you
Yeah.
have a bit of time, right? So you don't have to write everything in one sitting. You can
Okay.
start every day. You pick one essay, you write. The next day, you pick another essay, you write. Ensure that you review your write up before you finally submit, just to be sure that you don't have grammatical errors that will be difficult for people to understand. And so take time out. I mean, it's not easy, especially for people who have to combine this with work. And so just make out time, even if it's 30 minutes every day, just make out time, go through one essay a day. And at the end of the period, you would realize that the output you have for the essays will be way better than if you had just sat and done everything at a go. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. We have another question right here. I'm interested, but I don't have experience in cloud and tech. Can I apply? Echo, can you take this one for me?
Well, first thing is, this is not aimed at people who are veterans in the cloud or tech space. In fact, it's for beginners. But you should still have some knowledge and experience. But your question made me think, how long does it take to really learn the fundamentals? Is it maybe 20 hours of study, which you could probably do within the next few weeks and still have something to apply about? So if I were you, that's what I would do. I'll invest at least 20 hours trying to acquire some knowledge about cloud, AWS, and then see if I can still apply within the period.
Okay. So if you are
And
new to
some more, sorry,
cloud,
can I say
okay.
something to
All right.
add to? So as reinvent, I actually met people who don't have tech like backgrounds, right? They are just people who are interested in the tech space and are like
Okay.
actively trying to start out in tech. But
Okay.
all depends on what efforts are you putting in. How far do you want to go, and how much work are you willing to put in to ensure that you get to where you want to go? And so, in as much as you don't have the experience, I would advise that just if you want to get into tech, draft a plan for yourself. Like it's very easy. Put together, okay, this is the role I want to do. This is how long I think I'm going to need to get started. These are the things that I think I should do. These are the certifications I should take, right? And then use that as your plan to apply. It
Okay.
doesn't hurt to apply. The worst that
Okay.
can happen is they say, we are sorry. You should apply next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Someone
Now,
just
for
has,
those of you, okay.
sorry, just a few minutes. So I think that for your question that you don't have experience in cloud and tech, can you apply? There are two parts to it. So if
Okay.
you don't have the experience in tech, but you want to get into the tech field, this is a good one for you because
Okay.
it even puts you in a better position to tell your story. You don't have the experience, but you are putting in the work. You are trying to get into tech. You're trying to do this. Or number two, maybe you just want to go for reinvent and just travel, right? So I mean, that's what comes to mind. So because if you are really interested in tech, I think that you shouldn't even think about not applying. I think I would vouch that you apply. That's if you really want to get into the tech field because you go there, you'll be very much encouraged, you'll be motivated as well. But if you just want to go, if you're not interested in the tech field and you just want to go to Las Vegas, please leave it for the people that are really interested in the tech field. But generally, you should give it a shot. Yeah.
Okay. So I was about saying that those who are new, I have some couple of videos on my YouTube channel. You can go through. I have done hands-on how to connect, how to put your website on EC2 instance using EC2 Route 53 and other couple of AWS services which can help you get hands-on experience, and then you can use that to apply for the grant. Okay, let's move to the next question. what would you say has been the most impact on your career skills after the program? Okay, Getty, can you handle this one for me?
So I feel not just on my career, but personally. So I went for reInvent and I made like so many friends, but I met two friends that like stood out, right?
Okay,
And it felt like people I have known for like my whole life. And these are people who are like based in the US. And till date, I'm still friends with them. I came back to the US, I visited one of them. And yeah, you create relationships, friendships that like would last a lifetime, right? I also
okay,
met people who are willing to vouch for me to get
okay,
new roles. So
okay,
someone put in a recommendation for me to get into JP Morgan. So it's like you would create relationships, you would meet people, and trust me, you would have the time of your life. People who
okay.
like food like me, you would have so much to eat, right? And I think the experience generally is an experience that everybody should at least once in a lifetime have, because I mean it's free. Yeah, it's being
Yeah,
catered for. And so it has helped me meet new people. It has helped me grow in my career because I've had more opportunities. It has put me out there because more people now know me on LinkedIn, on Medium, and generally just more opportunities. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, for me, I would want to share an experience with it. When I went for reInvent, I just put on my LinkedIn profile, link just LinkedIn, and a friend who is in UK saw that. He said, "Oh, you went for this thing?" I said, "Yes, I did." Okay, then I'm going to link you with. So he linked me with a startup who are working into how to measure CO2, carbon dioxide, real time. Okay, so they actually brought me on board to do how the IoT devices could transmit the readings onto a dashboard, so that if a company signs on, you can be able to see how much CO2 you are producing. If it's above a certain limit, you now either you will have to reduce production or something, anything to reduce that particular limit. And they assigned me to do the dashboard. I didn't know anything about it. I had to learn using Amazon QuickSight. So Amazon QuickSight is a service that has to do with dashboards, graphs, pulling that data. It was because of reInvent. So it's a very good platform for you to showcase yourself. After that, there are more opportunities that could come your way. Echo, can you add something? There are two more questions.
Yes, I'm only going to add that it's through reInvent that I got to meet almost everyone here on this live stream.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity. You meet people like all the people we have today who can give you advice, who can give you encouragement, who can support you in the course of your career and all of that. I have a
Oh,
picture from reInvent on my LinkedIn as well. My LinkedIn is a banner, it's called, and I realized that that also makes it easy for me to connect with others, ask for assistance in any way.
okay. Nanajua, anything to add before we move on to the next question?
All right. Yes. For me, I'd say reinvent totally changed my career path, right? In terms of mentorship and in terms of meeting new people, like Gertrude said, who are ready to actually vouch for you. I would say for my first reinvent, I met people that um, the relationships built actually are still very, very much intact. I'd say I have mentorship from some AWS receive a mentorship from AWS employees right, who are constantly ready to help. That's because of Reinvent. Also had the opportunity to share my story with the whole AWS community as well, posted on the AWS YouTube channel, official YouTube channel. So
Okay.
that I'll say that this program, I'll say it puts your brand out there. So you need to take advantage of it, because 1 week passes so much that if you don't take hold of that 1 week, that's just that 5 days you have, you might miss a lot. But it just helped me to put myself out there. Also, even got helped me with I think with Nana, we being AWS advocates for the
Okay.
Educate program, so that's been helpful. So everybody should just try to give it a shot. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. As we should apply earlier for visa interview, will you have to pay as well for those fees? What if you are not selected?
That's
Echo, please handle this one for us.
very
Echo, are you
Yes,
around?
in that case, you would have to pay for the fees. I don't think the grant covers any fees related to visa, acquiring a visa or passport. Those are your personal responsibility. But things like the flight tickets, the ticket for the event, hotel bills throughout the event, feeding, and a little bit of a stipend you would get. But as for getting your visa, you have to pay whatever amount is required.
Okay. Now, what are some of the documents that you may need for visa interview? Yeti, how did you go about yours?
So honestly, my visa and like getting it, the application getting it was just vibes and inshallah, because the timelines were so
Yeah.
short. So I wasn't willing to, because I had applied like once and I didn't like get accepted. I wasn't willing to apply and I won't get it, right? I won't get a grant, and now I have a visa appointment that I don't know what I'm going to say. So I waited. Once I got the confirmation from AWS, I put in my application. But with the
Okay.
state of things currently in Africa
Mm.
and getting
Mm-hmm.
visa appointment dates, if you can afford it, please go ahead and start the process now, because now getting appointment dates for the in the US embassy is so difficult. And so if you can't afford it, please go ahead. Regards to the documents I sent, the 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 visa interview itself is also vibes and inshallah, because things that I might send and would like the interviewer would look at, you might send and they won't look at, right? But the things
Yeah.
I sent were the AWS would give you an invitation letter. So it's kind of like an introductory letter that talks about the fact that they are sponsoring you to come to the US for reInvent. And so this was one of the things I attached. Um,
Okay.
as well, the accommodation. At that time, I had my accommodation ready. And so I got the email from the hotel and I added
Okay.
this. Just to go an extra mile, I added my bank statement, had
Okay.
my passport, and yeah, I think that was basically all I took with me. So yeah, I got an introductory letter as well from my company. Um,
Okay.
that also I was just in case I need to prove further that I am employed and I have like a job I'm coming back to. I got that as well. But funny enough, none of those were looked at. It was just my passport that was collected and I got the visa. So I feel
Oh.
it's the vibes and inshallah. If you believe that there's a supreme being, please pray as well, because getting the US visa sometimes can be very stressful. Yeah.
Mm. Anajua, anything you want to add?
Yep. I'll say that I think for his question is, what if you are not selected? I'll say if you're not selected, means you'd unfortunately lose the money. But I'd say use faith. If you believe in God, use faith, and you know you get it. Because my story is a story of faith. Let me just put it this way. Because even
Okay.
before I went for the interview. I had booked. I mean, I got the after I got the grant. Okay, this was after I got the grant. I wasn't getting any dates. I remember I was talking to Gertrude about it that I wasn't getting dates. I even went ahead to book my flight and everything. Meanwhile, I didn't have dates. So, but my faith and my daily confessions never went away. And like I got my visa, I think like 2 days before the trip, or like that week to like that's
Wow.
what interview, right? But just I'll say, like Gertrude said, if you have the means, right, it doesn't hit. I think that if you have the means and you even have faith and you buy it, God will say, "Oh my, I mean, what is the whole lot of-" Because I think I was telling other people that if you can afford it, you should. But my interview process again, like Gertrude said, I say by God's grace was very easy for me. It wasn't I didn't take an intro. I took my passport, my visa, in the invitation letter, my
Okay.
hotel, my hotel reservation, which I'd already booked, and my passport. And then it was just my passport I was taking. I mean, they'll ask you questions, what are you going to do? I just said it. And like Gertrude, they didn't really ask reinvent specific questions. It was about like travel experience. So everybody is different. Just go,
Yeah.
I'll just be confident because the person interviewing everybody is different. Just be confident and don't just know that prove that you're going to come back. The US has, I mean, that's like the major basis for bouncing people, right? You're not going to come back. So just make sure you have something to come back to. Yeah, but all in all, God will help you. So, yeah.
All right.
Hi,
Okay.
Samuel. I think
Yes.
another thing that also helps is if you have prior travel experience.
Sure.
Even if it's Togo, please add it when you're applying. Like it helps.
Sure.
The fact that you've
Okay.
traveled and you've returned to your home country actually helps.
Okay. Thank you for that. The last one was okay. So good timing for this training as it gives us more time. All right. Thank you so much, Anna. There are no more questions. We will begin to wrap up. Your final words. Your final words so that we wrap it up. Let me start with Echo.
Well, I would say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you can get it, why not grab it? If you try to sum
Mm-hmm.
up the amount of money they will spend on you for that trip, it's thousands of dollars, which for many of
Yes.
us, it will take us maybe years and years to be able to save that amount of money. So if you have the
Okay.
opportunity to get it for free, why not make an attempt? Why not apply? So I'll urge each and everyone to apply. And if you are selected, make the most of it. Learn as much as you can. Make as many connections as possible. You never know. It's like planting seeds. You never know which one will germinate and when. But be sure
Uh,
to do your best.
All right. Thank you so much. And Anaja, your final words, please.
I think I've said it before. Just put yourself out there and apply. You don't lose
Okay.
anything. And wishing everybody the best of luck
Okay. All right.
and
Get you
grace.
the last one.
Um, just like everyone is saying, give it a shot. You don't know if this will be your time. It's better to
Okay.
apply and get rejected than not apply and wish you had, which was me in 2022.
Okay.
Don't be like me. So put in your best, take time, space out writing the essays so that you give yourself enough time to go through them. Review your write ups before you submit. This is very important because you might even end up mixing the write ups. Write
Okay.
them, ensure you review them. If you have people that can help you review their grammar, the better. Make sure you apply, please. It's very important you put yourself out there. When you get the grant and you go, network. A lot of us don't know what networking is. We just say network, but we go and we don't meet new people. You should at least meet two, three new people that become people that you know, right? So if you can afford, I would advise that you start your visa applications now. If you can't afford, please wait. Once you get
A confirmation.
the confirmation, then you go ahead. But then with that, it's vibes and inshallah. So all the best to everyone who is applying, and I wish you all the very best.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Nana Eko Esando. Thank you, Gertrude. Thank you, Nanadra, for having a little bit of your time, your busy schedules to be on this live broadcast. I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate your efforts. I do appreciate your knowledge you have impacted to our viewers. I'm so much very grateful unto you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would want to round up as everyone is saying, you lose nothing to apply. So please do apply. We draw the curtains to this live broadcast. Thank you so much, and we'll meet again. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank, thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much.